Hey there! Today we are doing another fold out from the Romantic Country coloring book series, and we're going to be experimenting with some color, so stick around. Hello colorists, welcome to PencilStash, a weekly show all about coloring. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to get all the new content, and be sure to hit that like button if you're enjoying my videos. So yeah, I had so much fun doing the first diorama fold out from Romantic Country, so I thought we would do one from the second tale. And I was actually pleasantly surprised. This book actually has two versions on one poster. So we actually are going to split this up into two different videos. So we're going to do this one, this first one, and it's called Pattern A, the Castle. And again, it is on a fold out poster. So we're going to go ahead and tear it out of our book. And thankfully I haven't damaged this one. We'll push this aside. So here's the first one. It's kind of a foresty scene, but we're going to do the first one up here. This is pattern number A, the castle, and it's got this awesome kind of background of like a balcony with like tile floor and just a very kind of regal scene. So that'll be super fun. And then the bottom one is kind of a foresty scene with a witch and some pumpkins. Definitely looks like fun, but I think we're going to save this one for another time. So of course the first thing that we have to do is color it. And I really like to do these kind of detailed stone like arches and like very regal scenes. I don't know why, but I really like to do them in like blue and grays. Just kind of adds like a little bit of a neutral backdrop, but adds a little bit of life with the blue. So I'm going to combine some cool grays and some slate blues to give our background here some interest. All right, so in full transparency, I kind of struggle with variety when I'm painting these kind of stone background scenes from the Romantic Country coloring series. I usually just default to like grays with maybe a little bit of slate blue kind of sprinkled in here and there. I wish I could kind of branch off and do something different. I kind of wish I did on this one, just because I know that I've done a few pages with this very similar color scheme, but I don't know why, it's just very comfortable. I just kind of always kind of go back to that gray and slate blue color scheme. And I like the grays for kind of the neutral parts of the background, like the arches and the pillars themselves, and they kind of accent with these slate blue colors. And I particularly like Crayola's Wild Blue Yonder and Prismacolor's Slate Gray. Those are going to be the primary blue colors that I'm adding here. And then for the grays, I actually went with my cool gray from the Prismacolor series, the 10%, 20%, all the way up to 90%. Just kind of use them interchangeably as I go through, just to add in a little bit of depth and shadows. Now with this area up here, it kind of reminds me of like a negative space or like a hollowed out space with these sort of stone spheres inside. So I really wanted to give you the illusion of that dimension there. So of course I put the stone spheres as a very light color, and then the hollow spaces that all these spheres are kind of sitting in, I wanted to be very dark. But I didn't want it to be dark so that it just looked flat. So I'm kind of just going around each of these little areas here and just kind of filling them in with some of my darker colors. And then right in the middle of each of the hollowed out spaces, I'm putting a lighter color. And then again, it just kind of makes your eye think that there's a little bit more dimension here than there really is. Now these pages really appeal to my love of coloring backgrounds. Yeah, I know I've mentioned this a million times, but my favorite thing to color is actually the backgrounds. It's never the main subjects of a page, it's never the people, it's never the objects, it's always the background. So I think that's maybe why I like this, because not only is there a background for me, there's usually a really intricate floor tile, or like in the other one there was a very intricate kind of pathway with like garden on the on either side of it. So I really spend the majority of my time coloring the backgrounds, and then I kind of rush through the rest of it because that's just not my favorite part. I'm really using my full spectrum of cool grays here, just kind of starting with my lightest, just kind of putting in that foundational layer with 10% cool gray, and then I just build and build and build until I get kind of the look that I want with some of the darker colors. So I'm putting in some shadows, kind of roughing up the surface here a little bit, just to kind of give it a stone look without, actually putting in, lines. Now for the night sky here. It is very clearly a night scene. There is a moon. So I want to do black, but I hate using my black colored pencil. It just doesn't give me a smooth effect. So I am going to bring out a nice, deep, dark marker. And I'm just going to fill in the entire background space here with my juicy alcohol marker. And I'm going to go around the stars. I'm going to leave the stars in place because in a moment, I'm actually going to put in some glitter glue. This is a really fun trick to just kind of jazz up some of these night scenes. So I'm just going to take some of this silver glue and I'm just going to dot it right over the areas of the stars that the artist gave us, as well as over the moon. All right, so I colored in my rose curtains in one of my favorite Prismacolor colored pencils. I used muted turquoise, but for some reason it just seemed a little bit too bright. So I'm actually going to take a nifty tool that I got a couple of months ago, but I haven't really shown you guys. It's this Derwent electric eraser. And so it's just a battery operated eraser. It just kind of vibrates at a very fast pace. And you can just sort of, put it right over the area that you want to erase a little bit, and it just pulls up some of the pigment, but not all of the pigment. So I'm going to use it over these roses just to dull this muted turquoise just a little bit. It's not muted enough. So I'm just going to kind of pick up some of that brightness with this. And this is a really good tool if maybe you made a weird color choice, or something's too bright and it's just not quite gelling with the other colors that you're using. Really good tool for those oops moments. And I'm going to do very much the same on this tile floor here. I'm going to use the exact same colors as I did on the background piece above, mainly focusing with some of the grays as kind of the background pieces. And then I'm going to accentuate with my slate blues just to kind of give this a little bit of like an ornate tile floor kind of feeling. That's really what I'm going for. All right, so the background is done, the tile floor is done, and it is very muted. And that's kind of what I was going for. But now I'm kind of left wondering, what do I do with the accessory pieces? I really didn't think through my color story here. I should have given it a little bit more thought. Because now I'm afraid that if I use some of these kind of grays and blues here, that it's just going to get lost. So I'm going to do something a little bit nuts, and I'm going to kind of do the opposite of what I've done with the background and the floor here, and I'm going to use a lot of gold. And this could be good, it could be really bad. I, for one, am scared, but you got to try it. If it doesn't work out, doesn't really matter. You learn, you live, you move forward, it's all good. But we're going to try it. Who knows, it might work out. So the colors that I like to use when recreating gold are kind of a mix of 4 different colors. And the first one is Crayola's Harvest Gold. I really like this color because it's nice and light. The Crayolas are really good when you want less pigment to come out of your colored pencil. Prismacolors are real buttery. They put down a lot of pigment, and that's good, but it's not always what you need. So I really like to use my Crayolas in those moments when I just want a very light effect. And so I'll usually use a Crayola colored pencil here to put down like a foundational layer, and then I will build on top of that with some other colors. And some other ones that I really like to use are the Prismacolor Bronze color and the Prismacolor Metallic Gold. Now, you could just color everything metallic gold, but I'm telling you, it's a weird color. It's got like more of a tarnished gold. It doesn't look like a nice, true, bright, shiny gold. So I use this very sparingly. And then on top of that, I also use a dark brown, either the espresso or the sepia, just to kind of put in a little bit of a dark tarnish there without it being kind of that muddy tarnish that you get from the metallic gold. All right, so all of my pieces I have kind of chosen to use this gold color just for fun. I think it'll really stand out against these more cool grays and the cool blues. Again, I just wanted a big contrast here. So taking a gamble, and we'll kind of see how it goes. But now that we have all of the golds done, now we actually need a color. I don't want to do her dress in gold. I don't want to do the flowers in gold. I need a color for the sofa and for some of the snacks on the buffet bar thing there. So I was thinking that we could go with another very royal color and use purple. So I've pulled a couple of purples, and I really like my Prismacolor Grade Lavender. It's actually one of my favorites. And then I will just kind of use this on her dress here, and we'll just kind of build up with some other purples until we get, something fun. And I'm going to use these same purples on the flowers and the chair and the sofa and on our little duck friend. It's kind of a big gamble to choose such a limited color palette here, but on this page, for some reason, everything is so busy. Everything has a very ornate pattern on it. Everything is very fancy. So I think maybe going with high contrast, but still kind of a limited color palette just kind of softens all that noise a little bit. Because if you went full out with like your entire arsenal of colored pencil colors here, I think it would be way overwhelming. So we are going to hold back a bit. What's funny is actually, besides doing the backgrounds, which I do really like, my favorite thing on this page to color was all of these cakes. For some reason, I just thought it looked so cute, and just choosing all of the different purples and what purples to put where on them, it's just so cute. Made me hungry. All right, so all of our pieces are colored, and now we get to cut out all of our shapes. Now, don't forget to cut out the little tag that is right below each of these shapes, because this is actually going to be the place that we adhere to the bottom of the page. We're going to fold it. We're going to use that as our fold line and put a little bit of glue down at the bottom there, and that's what's going to attach everything together. So do not cut that part off. And on this background piece here, there's a little dotted line at the bottom of its tag, and you're just going to put a little snip there so that we can kind of angle it when we adhere it to the floor. Thank God I have super sharp scissors. Thank God I have super sharp scissors, because these little pieces are super detailed. Oh my goodness. There were even some points where I kind of just had to cut my losses and just have a little bit of a white outline around them, because it just was not worth getting into all the little tiny nooks and crannies. So just do your best on these because they are very detailed. And just for fun, we'll add in some more stars with our glitter pen glue thingy, as well as our Posca paint pen, just because I like a sky full of stars. All right, now we get to fold everything. So you're going to actually fold right at the place where your bottom tag starts, where it meets the actual piece that you colored. That's your fold point, so that only that little tag is going to be touching the ground. That's our glue point. So fold all of your pieces so that they are ready to adhere. All right, now because we cut that little tiny dotted line on our background, we can hinge the background so that it fits better on our floor piece here. Now you could just put it flat. I think it's not quite as short as the floor, but you certainly could do that. But I kind of like the way that it looks just a little bit more dynamic when you kind of fold it. And so we're just going to fold it a little bit and hinge it right here at the back. And I'm just using regular craft school Elmer's white glue to adhere this down. Put a little bit of pressure at the back here just to make sure that it's nice and sticky. All right, now where to place all of these pieces. I don't want to cheat and look at the book. I kind of like to, choose my own spots for it. And for some reason, I really like this little buffet with all of the sweets on top. And I know that Elena is definitely going to want to head over there. So I'm going to put the sweets table back here. And I'm actually using my scissors, because it's really hard to get kind of in this back space here. I'm actually using my scissors just to put a little bit of pressure on that back tag to get it to adhere to the bottom. And then yeah, let's take Elena, put her right here like she is checking out the sweets table. And then we'll place everybody else. And here it is all finished. This is so cute. So I don't know whether or not our color palette kind of turned out here, kind of these bold, brassy gold colors and the royal purple, kind of up against this very neutral, cool slate blue and gray background and floor. You guys tell me, what do you think of this color scheme? Tell me down in the comments. Again, it was just an experiment. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I think this one turned out all right. You know, it definitely stands out against our neutral background. I think my favorite part is the floor. And again, it's such a shame that we kind of have to cover up a lot of it. That was my favorite part in the last diorama as well. But I just think it's so cute. The other thing is you can do with this, you can just kind of display it somewhere. You know, like if you can put it in your, you know, little girl's bedroom. You know, it's not quite, you know, like a playset that you could play with, but it is definitely cute for display and definitely worthy of looking at a little bit longer. It is adorable, and I really have fun with these, so we'll definitely do some more in the future. And I hope that you liked this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps people find my channel, and I definitely love knowing that you guys are enjoying the videos. So please do that. Hit the subscribe button if you are not currently subscribed to my channel. And if you'd like more coloring tutorials, I have a ton over on my channel. Go check those out. And I will see you guys next time. Ciao!